Hey everyone, Ben here. You know, when I got into the sport of paramotoring, I made a video and shared the total expense to getting into paramotors. I started out with a Atom 80 on a Fresh Breeze frame, and I was flying the Design EZ2. So in terms of that setup, it was great for me as a beginner because I wanted something that was really simple, lightweight, and reliable. I felt like I was not going to mess that up. So that Atom 80 turned out to be a great motor for me for all that time. I weigh roughly 175 pounds, and I knew I was always on the edge of, is that enough power for me? And eventually I was ready to make that move to a more powerful motor in the Viterazzi Moster 185. The reason I really like starting with the Design EZ2, it is a traditional paragliding profile. So it does not have the reflex. So that means the wing is particularly safe and stable. It's exactly what I was looking for when I was starting out. Also, it's a three-liner, meaning it has A's, B's, and C lines, and then you have a brake line. And that means the riser set is significantly more simple than the risers you might see on another wing. Here's the riser set on the Spider. I have my split A's, B's, C's, D lines, and then I have my brake line, and in addition, I have tip steering. When you're in reflex mode, you cannot pull on the brake line, which will deflect that trailing edge and disrupt the reflex profile. So what you do is you pull on just the wingtip. Just another little thing to think about, I wasn't quite ready for that as a beginner, and I was willing to put my time in on a wing with a more traditional profile, simple riser set, and just get some hours under my belt. And I did. I got 80 flights, about 40 hours, and that was about a season on this wing before I moved up to the next. If you're just starting out, you haven't had any instruction, you don't really know what you're doing, it's best not to go out and just purchase used gear. You might end up with something that's really old, unflyable, or it doesn't fit you, and then you end up having to buy stuff all over again. And I've seen it happen over and over again, and it is heartbreaking at times for folks who put their entire savings into some equipment that they can't use. But the flip side of that is you can really get terrific gear that's gently used. In some cases, you've had a guy with some good experience actually work out all the kinks in the equipment and has it running beautifully for you to kind of take on. So you can see that type of scenario too. I would tell anyone you can get significant savings with used gear, but don't do anything without some advice or counsel from either your instructor or someone else that you really trust. This motor and wing, which costs about $11,000 brand new, are going to be sold for about $6,000. So it's just more than 50% of what the initial expense is. So it gives you an idea, if you're trying to get in the sport, what can you expect to spend? Now the next question that comes up is around training. Training could be anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500 roughly, and I see a lot of schools that are right in the middle at about $2,500. And you can get other discounts if you buy gear through your instructor. You just have to check in with your school of choice, whether it's local instruction or you're going to travel to go do a school, and find out how they do their pricing, if there are any discounts. For anybody who is interested in buying used gear for kind of a beginner setup, and you're interested in this here, as I said, I'm about 175 pounds, and I'm right about the top limit of what you want to be flying this stuff. If you're a little bit lighter than that, it may be something you would consider. Talk to your instructor about it, see if it's something you want to check out. This wing has about 80 flights in 40 hours. The motor has approaching 200 flights in 100 hours. If you have interest in it, the whole thing is offered for about $6,000. Feel free to reach out, shoot me an email, which I put down in the description below. Any questions for me, drop a comment or shoot me an email. I appreciate you guys as always for coming out, checking out the channel. Make sure to come back and check out the next flight.